thing squared away.
And the A's radio network.
What a drag, man.
Diaz leads off with the A's, top of the second against Pablo Lopez. Diaz sodas from an Allen for the A's against the right-hander from Venezuela. He is ready and delivers the pitch to Jordan. It's swung on tap foul and it's 0-1. Apparently, Pablo Lopez, as the story goes, he was seriously considering a career in medicine before he signed with the Mariners. He was.
Man, this looks like a dangerous setup tonight. Right? Looks like kind of a sucker setup here. Looks like a good way to get T-boned.
Jordan 1 for 4 yesterday.
Hey everybody, we are live. We had a little bit of a problem before. They want you to choose your orientation.
He's ready.
Before you go live, I was listening to the A game, sorry. Alright, we probably have a little bit of a wind situation. W-I-N-D, not W-I-N. You know, we're always winning around here. Oh, we got our little Honda rice burner. Ooh, ooh, the girls go crazy. Ooh, we got our little rice burner. Right. All right, be back in a moment, Tito. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Hey, Morning Dove, I've gotten so many compliments. Yeah, I had to get rid of it. I can't have that. Hey, Morning Dove, I can't have any crappy lives or videos on my channel. I feel like such a fashionista. Oh, wow. All right, what's going on, everybody? We are in the know. We're in the go. Please hit the thumbs up button. We have our worst ratio we ever had, 66-11 here. Hey, Alan, how are you? Callie Mo, how you doing, babe? Alex Wallace, good to see you. Get on that computer so you can tag people. OG'd always win. How you doing, Amanda? IP2, yeah, I was sideways earlier. Sunny, warm day. Well, Joe, you're coming into, your winter's coming up. right? Wintertime in Australia. Prancer, how are you? Good to see you tonight. Yeah, please hit the thumbs up button. I was afraid this guy was going to explode in there tonight. He was kind of enraged. He pushed a slip of paper across the counter and the guy couldn't read it and he started getting mad. I thought maybe the guy was pushing like a robbery note across the, you know, like give me all your money or something, but nobody here would really know how to write too much, so it would just be like, you just go in and scream it, like give me all your money, and you don't have anything in your arm, you don't have anything in your hand except like your finger, and you're telling people give me all your money, or I'm gonna do what? Hey 71, how you doing? We don't have the highest collected IQ around here. This is why we have so many jailbirds in the hood here. Please hit the thumbs up button if you're coming in. We're trying to get off to a rip-roaring start. I think I'm going to take that. Remember, I made the pork ribs last week, and of course, it's already cooked, so the meat should keep. Remember good old, you know, Shackleton down in Antarctica or whatever. He saved all of his people, right? And they went back 100 years later, and they found all the canned food was still good. So I think that the ribs will still be good, right? Being under refrigeration at 35 degrees or whatever. So we're going to chop that meat off tonight. We're going to make a hack job chili. Good to have everybody along tonight. I've had a lot of people, hey Anne-Marie, asking me to do this one tonight. So if you're not into economics, you're not into politics, you're not into sociology, you're not into psychology, you know, my best advice is pop on back after an hour or so. There are some people that don't have an interest in it, and I understand that. I don't have an interest in Peruvian mid 1800s art either, so I'm not going to hang around, right? So, or underwater basket weaving and assorted exercises like that. Kind of a busy day today. Nailed after church this morning. Father's like, I need you to check out up here. They have, there's some unevenness up on the altar area, and the other priest is tripping on it, so I spent a couple hours on that deal today. Resolve nothing at all, except that visit the problem in the future, kick it down the line, and tell people don't fall. Right? I mean, that's it. So we throw that onto the going list of stuff. I talked to, communicated with Father Freer down in Vegas. We texted back and forth. He's looking forward to the return. He's very excited to think that we could do some fundraising. Hey, Darla. I don't think anybody stepped forward before in the history of it and done anything, so it's kind of a unique experience down there. And I've gotten a lot of nice people that have already committed on Gmail me and everything else, so I'm excited, right? Definitely want to do more charitable work as I move forward in retirement here. If you got the skills, offer your skills, right? All right, we're going to pedal, we're moving, there we go. All right, nothing going to go wrong on that bike. One chain, one gear, one brake. Right, sounds like one bourbon, one beer, one broad. That's it. What are the salesman's two enemies? The two B's, booze and broads. That's it. All right, here we go. Traveling salesman's two enemies. I've seen it in person in my job. Hey Chef, how you doing? I've seen people live alternate lifestyles, especially when I was in Hong Kong with girlfriends in one apartment and 2 floors above the family. Right? I'm like, okay, whatever. You're not going to tell anybody. Look, man, you think, shit, man. That kind of stuff gets you killed in the hood. Okay, you guys know. Somebody tells me something in confidence. It goes to the grave with me. I've never, on all my 10 and a half years on YouTube, ever broken a confidence. anybody. I've never spilled tea. I've never done anything like that. All right, let's get in and enjoy here. We have a beautiful night. It is 80 degrees. I think it's probably a little less than that. I have my really cool shirt on tonight. All right. Looking sharp, looking cool, looking like a fashion plate. Looking like a little bit of, holy smokes, why don't you get in the stripes? Yeah, it's beautiful here tonight. It's just like, I get so excited late September into October, just before the leaves. Hey Taylor, how you doing? Just before the leaves drop. And everything is just, I don't know, you just get this sudden dryness. Quite a shirt. Where's the pocket? Right there. That's it. This is my rocket ship one. I have a whole, these are like late 50s, early 60s retro. Right, I'll show you guys. I'll stand up over here. Hey Olive. I know it's dark before 8. Hey, there's the shirt. I got 4 of them, of which 3 have come. But I like the rocket motif and all that. So it's kind of like, you know, I gotta be, you know, if I'm gonna be a guy, right? And Taylor will tell you, I gotta be popping. You know, I mean, I can't be boring the ladies, right? I can't be boring. That's it. Thank you. Hey, Catherine, how are you doing? We got Cry Tears. Thank you. I know, I love this shirt. As soon as I saw them advertised on, I don't know, it just showed up in my feed, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta have them. I bought 4 different ones, of which 3 of them have come. All right, we're gonna do this stuff again. Not tonight. I have some original atomic. Yeah, don't you love that atomic look, like atomic clocks and all that kind of stuff? Oh, thank you, Alvin. I'm about due. I'm getting a little long, but I don't like to go but once a month or so, or once every 6 weeks or so. Doing good. Got the new computer bought at the meat department. It cost, oh cool, how's the new computer? Snap, I like to used to have a catchphrase that said kiss the stars. Yeah, that's a good catchphrase. It's good to see you, Taylor. I hope everything is going good in your world. I'm trying to keep this mofo going. But anyway, how you doing, Scott? It's good to see you, sweetie. I know you probably just rolled in from work and everything. Good to see you. So I was busy. My morning was totally consumed till about 12 o'clock today. Trying to figure out how to level up this altar area. Hey, how you doing, Christine? What's going on, honey? How are you, babe? So it's good to see everybody. You know, I've gone, let me just finish my hellos. I'm not done setting it up. It should be exciting. Whenever you get a new computer, it's exciting. I got like a $150 Chromebook, right? Acer Chromebook, and I was very excited. Hey, Cindy, I was very excited to get that, right? Get that set up, and I've used that for all my writing. Hey, Terry, quite the stud tonight. Thank you, Terry. How's everything in Montana? Hey, Leah, good to see you tonight. I just love my Chromebook. I like the weight of it. I bought a carrying pack. I'm doing good, babe. Doing good, Christine. I bought a padded case for it. I love the thing. I don't need a lot of bells and whistles, okay? I don't need it. So the Acer was good. It was highly recommended. And I just, you know what, I'm going to get a Chromebook. Most of my life is on Google anyway. Google, Gmail, documents and all that. Chromebooks are awesome. I think it's great. Getting rain in Oakdale Saturday, really. Boss, this stubborn granny no good when doing computer stuff. I don't think anybody would ever have an easy time bossing you. I'm just saying there, Catherine. I'm just saying, I don't think anybody would have a good time. You see, been getting some sun, been working outside a little, looking forward to this evening chat with you. Bring on the wisdom. Well, I don't know about the wisdom, but I've been requested, and I haven't really talked about it. for quite a while. But I have to be honest with you, with each passing day, I get more and more Gmails and please, what are your thoughts? And I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a political analyst. I'm not an economic analyst. Okay, I'll say that first of all. I'm just a person with a liberal arts background, which means that I know a little bit about a lot of different things, and therefore sometimes able to connect the dots that might not otherwise be connected with the specialists and people like that. So as my moderators always say, and I don't know if Ronnie's here yet, but the opinions are mine, okay, and mine alone, and many of you will not share my opinions about things, and that is perfectly your right. And one of the things that I've always really prided myself on this channel is nobody ever gets the boot here for just having an opinion. Okay? Nobody gets the boot here for having an opinion. We have people that are ultra right. We have people that are ultra left. Hey, how you doing, Harvey? Good to see you, my friend. Wonderful, handsome Harvey. So we have everybody in between, and we've not ever lost one person because of an opinion that people express. I don't know how smart. Let's just say, Cindy, I've been around the world a little bit, right? I've seen a lot of stuff in my time. So the number one concern that people have now is the markets. We have a lot of people that are invested in the markets and things. And I'm going to tell you guys, in my opinion, what I think that the bottom line is. We have two different forces at work here today. And today we didn't have too bad. You know, we had a pretty decent day. You know, it wasn't terrible. Yeah, that's cool. Let me check, and that's how I keep my. That's good, Noreen. You know, it's some people are going to be in for the long haul, and it's not going to matter. But some people are going to find themselves in a situation where, against their wishes, they're going to be forced to liquidate. We all have the notion that what happens to others probably won't happen to us. I used to see that in business when layoffs would sweep through the banking, you know, the bank or something like that. But, oh, they won't touch me. I do X, Y, Z. And 2 hours later, I see the guy sitting out on the sidewalk in Hong Kong. I said, "What's up, man? I just got furloughed here." I'm like, "Okay, dude. Well, you know, I guess I'll be next or whatever." But it didn't. Luckily, it didn't happen to me. But see, there's a point we assume when we have things like IRAs and we have savings, we have things like homes that we're making payments on. And the fallacy of reasoning comes in, hey Barry, the fallacy of reason comes in something like this. Because I own a home and because I have locked in a low interest rate, then I am untouchable in terms of things. But we know such is not the case. As interest rates rise here, which they're really have been on an accelerating upward move now, more things are going to slow down from purchasing vehicles and cars, which is already strike going on there anyway. And by the time the strike is over or whatever, you know, financing may put more and more vehicles out of people's reach, or else the profitability of the car companies is going to be eaten up with subsidizing interest rates and stuff like that, so that people can continue to buy cars. But the real deal is, if you lose your job and if you have a mortgage, yeah, you might be able to hold on for a while. You might be able to find a job, but you're probably not going to find a job that pays as well as the one that you're getting booted out of. And in that situation, there comes a time, and this could be a cascading effect going forward, there comes a time where you start to have a point where people are beginning to be laid off in businesses. We've had quite a bit in the banking sector, quite a bit in investment banking. It's not reached through to a lot of the traditional world. Yeah, EL84s are cheap, Harvey, over there. They're, we have this weird employment world now where a lot of people are working for themselves doing gig jobs and stuff like that. We know like June here, June Guadalupe, she delivers food, she does DoorDash and things like that. So a lot of people are working gig economy type of stuff, working 2 or 3 jobs together. But we also know that like retail is closing down. Target's closing like 6, I don't know how many stores in like 4 cities or something like that. We know that Rite Aid went bankrupt. They'll be reducing the size of theirs. In other words, I don't know how many people are going to be able, because what are they going to do with interest rates on credit cards and stuff? You think it's high at 21.9% now? Who's going to notice the little piece of paper that comes in your next credit card payment that says, we're taking the rate up to 28.6 or something, right? Yeah, mortgage rates have gone up 14 times. Well, we're going to tie this all together, Harvey. But there's a difference. The reason that markets turn and the markets go down is 2 things. Number 1, the psychology starts to get bad under it. And number 2, people on balance need to start taking money out as opposed to putting money in. Now we know that baby boomers have a lot of accumulated wealth, and Gen X people, they have a lot of accumulated wealth in the stock market in places like that. And they've usually been built on the concept of what's called the balanced portfolio, which means you have some holding, and many of you don't see this because you just put your money in and then some professional management company runs the thing, right? Hey, Jill runs the deal for you and you just put your money in. But they do preach that some of your money should be in bonds and some of your money should be in stocks. Now, a year and a half ago, I told people if you're in bonds and stuff like that, you can't expect interest rates to go any lower. Okay, it's just, you're only going to go so low. And then, right, there's going to be so much borrowing takes place that it's going to turn the tide. We're going to start seeing a rise in interest rates. And we've gone from 0.7% on a 10-year all the way up to 4.62 today. It's been a rocket ride. And as a result, people that are invested in part of their portfolios in bonds, they're going to be shocked when they get their statements coming up of the damage that's been done to those bond holdings. People don't think in terms of bonds, but already people that have held the longest term obligations, the United States 30-year bonds, especially 10-year bonds, they've already lost half their value. Okay, so it's been a real tough run here. So what I'm trying to say is, what we're waiting for now is the stress to come into the real economy in terms of job creation and all that. I have Amanda Hug and Kiss, my good friend in here. She tells me in the Atlanta metropolitan area that things are going great guns right down there. And I can tell you out in California here that things are slowing down here. I don't see near the number of people being out and about that used to be out. And you have to remember, we have a big fringe of retired people in America too that are living on retirement savings and Social Security and stuff like that. So that's kind of the hidden part of it. But as I was saying before, with the interest rates going up, it acts like a depressing lever on everything. Okay, and today, Harvey, we hit $94 a barrel for West Texas Intermediate crude, up like I don't know, $2 or something like that today. Now I know Jill says Trump 2024. I'll put the same question out. Yeah, he might be able to control the border, but there's a limit to what a president can do. We also have this shutdown thing coming. On the one hand, you have these Republicans that got elected because in their district they said it's time to get spending under control. We've got to stop this runaway deficits. Hey Kitty, how you doing, sweetie? You know, and if you elect me, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to be one of the ones to stop this train of crazy spending? Well, we're now at the point today where the rubber is absolutely hitting the road right here. We're coming to a point of Saturday at midnight. Well, unless they come to some agreement, and it's not going to be a long-term agreement, okay? It'll be enough to kick the can down the road, probably to get through local elections in the November election cycle. But the problem is not going to go away. As interest rates rise, the amount of money the government has to take in simply to roll over existing debt, not even create new debt, it's such an enormous level. And then you have the BRIC countries pulling back, the Brazils and Indias and others, the Chinas and stuff. They're pulling back from buying our debt. All right, and pulling back from buying our debt is what you're seeing now. Now, people make a false assumption here. Everybody, as I've said before a few months ago, everybody's focused on inflation. Hey, Duncan. And inflation has been an underlying, we've slowed down at the grocery store that I can see. I can't speak for rents, right? But I know oil prices, we're definitely going to be at $6 a barrel, $6 a gallon here coming up. Now, that's going to take a toll. That's definitely going to impact people. Yeah, I don't know about who's gone to prison or whatever, but let's all try to stay out of jail. But everybody's focused on inflation as what's driving interest rates up. What they're not totally connecting, a few people are starting to, is the fact that interest rates are going up because we have too much debt. Okay, and once that psychology begins to take hold, all of a sudden you've moved from a focus on inflation, and then some good inflation numbers come out and people are still like, oh wow, right? And interest rates are still climbing. Okay, they're still going up, and today was a big day. Once that focus shifts over to that, then you're going to have a real acceleration upward in interest rates and things like that. So far, things are holding together pretty good. I mean, you guys say, oh, Rosie, you're crazy. It's been painful. Yeah, I hear you. Hey, Cobra John, how you doing? How you doing? Okay. Some people take a longer view, and if you see the world of the future that I see, you can't look at the investment world today and think that it has great opportunities in it, right? Everything is very expensive now. It's not just gasoline that's expensive. It's not just groceries. It's also things like stock prices are the highest they've ever been, the most valued they'd ever been in history. And to expect them to go still higher in valuation is, well, it just taxes the imagination here. And once the tide begins to turn on that, which I sense it kind of is now, and as people want to take money out and they'll put it into bank accounts, they'll put it into CDs and stuff like that, you guys know for a fact that's less of a flow to go into stocks and stuff like that. And as people see their balances declining in bond funds and stuff like that, they're gonna, well, you can either hang around and get amputation without anesthesia, right? And just see it get blown into oblivion. But every day, some measure of people are getting out and selling out of that situation. So somebody said, at what point somebody asked me in a Gmail, at what point do we tip over in this thing? I would think between 5 and 6% is our real danger area here, where the legs of the market could really be cut out from under in a very dramatic, in a very unexpected, hey Kitty, in a very unexpected fall. Because in financial terms and what we're taught in the finance world, when you study that and investing and things like that, you're taught 6% is a magic mark where you're just as apt to put people into, say, a CD or annuity than you would put it in the stock market, okay? You would do that. It's nice to see some OG boy people. So, you know, I think we've had such a dramatic move the last couple weeks that we're probably due for a reprieve here for maybe a week or so. Because if we don't start to take the heat off now of this bond market in particular, and remember there's trillions and trillions, the bond market far outweighs the size of the stock market, okay, because of the government's insatiable appetite for borrowing. So there's many more professionals that are watching their, you know, they're managing mutual funds too, they're managing bond funds, and they know that they're getting whacked on that, okay? They know that they're getting slammed in that market. It's just a question of, you know, you hope that it turns, right? So that's kind of the game we're playing now. If we don't turn it, then you're going to start going from concern, you're going to start shifting over to a panic mode. And I don't think that we're at that point. Deborah Langley, Rocket Man, thank you. So that's why federal paper is paying more. Because it's, you know, they're trying to hold a sale right now. And unlike most stuff, to hold the sale in the bonds and stuff like that, you have to raise the price to attract people. You have to raise the interest rate on it to get people to come. There's a lot of implications here. We know for a fact, we look at our economy today and we know that we're just kind of precariously balanced here. Right? We're not quite sure what's holding stuff up. I mean, we have more credit card debt than we've ever had in the history of the world. We have more people, well, I don't know how many people are working, but we have a lot of people in there trying to hump jobs and do, you know, everything. And I think our restaurants have been suffering, at least our mainstream restaurants, to the point where if I'm not eating in and out or something, I don't even feel like wasting my money. Right? Well, in terms of gold, you have to understand that the Chinese and some of the other countries, they need something. Hey, Queen. They need something tangible that still has use and value in an industrial sense and a demand sense. And there's nothing else that they can grab, right? Except gold, right? What else are they going to grab that's saleable easily? The Chinese already choked down all the houses they want and stuff. They're trying to unload a lot of that stuff there now that they bought and all that. I'm invested in silver and collector coins. So these countries have the luxury of playing a long game. Now I'm going to tell you what, I have people on the inside in China, okay, a lot of people, and I know right now China is like a train wreck, and the only thing that's holding it up right now is the government's in there buying stuff like stock and doing all this stuff to try to support the market and all that. That never really lasts in the long run. In the meantime, there's so much overbuilt property that's sitting vacant. They'd probably have to end up, you know, just giving that to peasants. The chairman of Evergrande, which is one of the largest property development companies in China, is in jail. I got put away. There's people disappearing in the Chinese government. Hey, Spirit, how you doing? There's people that are here today and gone tomorrow. Right, defense ministers and everything else. So what does that tell me? It tells me that the time of suspicion is growing in China. Hey, how you doing, honey? Good to see you. Weekend's coming. Yes, Laura, good to see you. The time of suspicion is growing in China, and every day you're seeing these little stories that China is on a hunt now to root out spies and claims that Huawei, which is their phone company, has been bugged by the U.S. for 10 years and whatever, you know, there's all kind there. All of a sudden, yeah, unstable is a perfect word, Mindhunter. All of a sudden, they're seeing boogeymen under every desk and everywhere in every place in China, and they're this close, I think, to declaring war on the rich over there. Okay, and again, this is why I tell you there ain't no good times over there. All right, there's nobody laughing and dancing and going out drinking and hitting the clubs and karaoke and like I said, the movie stars disappeared from the red. These people know their parents have told them, "Hey, man, you kids are living the high life, dude. You don't understand what it is to be when the hammer falls and the sickle comes through." All right, let me tell you what life was like in the 60s and 70s, and yeah, not many are laughing. I understand that, Jill. Right? So all of a sudden, everybody's like it's a whack-a-mole. Everybody wants to keep their head. If you stick your head up a little bit, you get whacked. Right? Now, you said not many are struggling here. Well, when you read what happened in Philadelphia last night, a protest turns into an excuse to smash and grab on a scale of just massive numbers of people are doing this. We don't have the ability in our society to restrain this anymore. Okay, people don't even know. They don't even have a concept that they're doing wrong. It's just like, yeah, it's nothing new, but it's something that's accelerating in drama and in terms of everything else, holding out the best we can. Well, it's good, honey. I hope your dreams come true, but I hope the auto workers don't push themselves out of a job. That's the thing I worry about, especially when we're coming into a time when interest rates are going higher. I think I would be more inclined to tell my people, let's just stay cool, right? Consumers are going to be under pressure. Right now, the car companies are advancing financing to be able to keep sales going, but we might be in a weakened position. We gotta kind of be careful. Well, we could say same thing about LA. We could say the same thing about a lot of San Francisco. We could say that about Chicago. We could say that about New York and places like that. We're seeing the unraveling of a traditional social fabric here that kept the country together, and we have a very stratified nation now where people either live well or they live like shit. Like, there's hardly any middle ground anymore. You're either struggling with to make rent and other stuff, or else you're Jeff Bezos off on another 3-week jaunt through the Caribbean. Right? Yeah, you're looking at what I call the age of barbarism is starting to descend. The dark curtain of barbarism is starting to descend on us. So if anybody has any idea or any clue how that reverses, what force of man can possibly stem the tide that we have now? We have classrooms that would rather, we have school systems now that would rather teach kids 5 hours a week about gender equity and equality in society, rather than reading, writing, and arithmetic. Hey, 71, how you doing? In other words, we went from people achieving equality by pulling themselves up by their bootstraps, and yeah, there's protests and stuff like that, but through the vote and things like that. Hey, Raquel, thank you, sweetie. To now reaching a point where people are demanding, just for showing up, that you get a participation medal and that you should be rewarded just for existing. It's an unprecedented time in this country. And if the boss was here, we'd say, "Oh, it's kind of doom and gloom," but there's a touch of realism in it, right? Sometimes doom and gloom, there's something really serious. There's something there, right? There's something there. There's an iceberg there, and you're expecting the Titanic to be able to veer away from that with a broken rudder. And I ask people all the time, right, what's it going to be? There comes a point where you borrow too much money in a society to sustain your standard of living and to subsidize people that are unable or unwilling to do for themselves, you're going to grow that class, right? That class is going to expand, right? And it's going to suck in more money. It's going to demand more in terms of medical spending and welfare and food stamps and everything. So everybody becomes dependent on the government, and that's a very dangerous point. That's a very dangerous point in any society where everybody's just so dependent on that. So, if anybody has any idea of what turns it around, I don't know what it does. Our deficits are not going to shrink, right? If we turn down and the demand comes for stimulus or something like that, it's going to run smack into financing needs now. The shoplifting raid was put together on social media. Yeah, well, you can expect, hey, Kels, you can expect more of that in the future. Right? Until such time in civil unrest at Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, Mint, whatever, they're all told to throw the switch. Right? Don't think that day doesn't come. Okay, I've seen more changes since the 60s. The 60s was really a catalyst for it, because there's what I call the curse of prosperity. That means when you enjoy an unprecedented period of unrivaled prosperity compared to any time in world history, people are naturally inclined through a combination of either guilt, good intentions, or ill will to want to exploit that prosperity, okay? By either forcing the hand, hey Kelly, either forcing the hand of the government for redistribution, guilting people into things. The bottom line is that prosperity they assume is going to last forever, right? And we know that that's not the case. We know it's a very transient phenomena. Thank you, sweetie. Prosperity comes and prosperity goes. This generation coming up now through grade school and through high school is the most undereducated generation in the history of America. Hey, Sarah. Well, in the history of, let's say, since the 1910s, when the public school system was founded, really, in America. Okay. You guys aren't privy to what passes for things like job applications. When people write letters in, I'm looking at stuff that's coming into places, and it's like people can't even put a coherent sentence together anymore, and spelling and stuff like that. But yet our schools are willing to take that precious time and devote that to things like gender studies and things that aren't going to help us compete in the world of the future. And I think that is really a huge mistake. I mean, everybody's all about equality, right? Everybody's all about equality. Don't get me wrong, but equality is best earned through respect. We aren't fully aware of, yes, well, I can tell you what the consequences are going to be, but a lot of people don't like to hear it. Right? Because I look at things and I logically think, like you guys out there, what's going to turn the trend? We have a declining population base. We have, I don't smoke, sorry. It's all right. Yeah, I mean, if the truth offends, I can't help it, right? You look at the trends that are in place. The most pernicious and unrecognized one, and this is probably why the government's panicking and allowing people to come in droves into the nation now. Because we need people that are willing to work for modest wages to support this whole enterprise. Is it exploitative? Of course it's exploitative. But it serves also the needs of people that are looking for a better life. So what actually ends up happening is you creating more people that become the people who can most afford, right? The people who live large and can most afford things are choosing to have the smallest, choosing to either forego family formation or have very small families. In other words, those who can best support their offspring are doing it the least, and those that least can support their offspring are having the most. Okay? We have, what is it, 40%, and I don't make any, I'm not talking about single moms, I'm just stating basic statistics, that 40% of children are born out of wedlock today. Over 50% of millennials and Gen Zers are living with their parents and stuff like that. I mean, we have a very challenging situation here for growing productive economy. We have undereducated people that are born multi-generationally poor and dependent on the government, that have no concept of how education can help them. Okay, thank you, Christine. Right? They have nobody to pass down values to them. You know, and a lot of these homes are missing father figures to instill some discipline and things like that. Right? Right? So it's a bad brew. It's a bad brew, and it seems just like all the chickens are coming home to roost. While union demand sends more jobs overseas, come in and bring one union do a great job there. Yeah. Hey, Prancer. So the family is tremendously undervalued in this nation today. Higher education was created for the wealthy. Well, it was, if you could afford it, you got it. If you couldn't afford it, you worked a trade job, and then maybe your kids could get it, right? Still lots of stuff, but they all seem depressed. That's a whole nother branch to go down that one. I don't think it, I mean, this is the principal reason I'm writing a book here and working my way through it. This public school system, I can't imagine what it is now. It just depends by location. Like here in Santa Rosa, in the wealthy neighborhoods, we have Maria Carrillo High School. We have Annalee High School out in Sebastopol there. These are great high schools that produce people that go to the Harvards, the USCs, the Berkeleys of the world. And then we have Elsie Allen High School down in the hood where I live, where, I don't know where, you just don't have the same level of achievement. Yeah, Kennedy High School down there in places like that. I mean, down on Cutting Boulevard, right? In other words, the value of a family has been lost. Okay, and the only thing that I can say replaced it is just outright selfish. And the loss of a willingness to sacrifice for not only other people but for future generations too. So it's really the cult of selfishness that's really driven us to the point where we are today. Well, I know, ME. I'll get some hate mail too tomorrow. Trust and believe. There's some people out there that don't want to hear differences of opinions and things. So I'm gonna use these leftover pork ribs and make a chili tonight. I don't say stuff. People ask me an opinion. They ask me to talk about certain things, and I don't always talk about it. We try to have good times here. We have a lot of laughs. We went on a bike ride. Yes, we live in a greedy, self-serving culture. right? And it's, whether you like to hear the word that defines that or not, the best word that defines that is pagan. Paganism is a world with several characteristics. The first characteristic of paganism is a love and worship of nature. Okay, it's an overarching love of the natural world around us. Okay, that's number one. Number two, the second marker is dramatic increase in nudity and lewd behavior. That's the second big marker of paganism. Okay. And the third big marker of paganism is increasing violence. Okay, in a society, and eventually that gives way to barbarism. What is going to happen to people when the government starts to, not to say just doesn't, let's not say they don't send a check or something. Let's not say they don't cut off food stamps. That ain't gonna happen. Let's not say that they don't cut off, welfare or whatever, or Social Security. What's gonna happen to this nation if, say, some bold Republican and some bold Democrat says, you know what we need to do? We need to institute a 10% across the board cut in food stamps, in housing subsidies, in student loan subsidies, in welfare benefits and all that kind of stuff. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the AOCs in the world? Right? Can you imagine the screaming and hollering that would go on? Right? We're talking about a 5% cut here. The elderly with Social Security checks. So what happens in that kind of environment? Right? You go back to your district and the people come to your town hall meeting and they say, hey Chet, hey Julie, we understand the government's in a bind, but you understand this. If you try to cut our benefits, you're not going to get elected again. All right. Thus, we see the real problem of representative government is people eventually will destroy themselves with the demands that they make on the treasury. It's exactly what happened to the Roman Empire. Okay. It just became too much to sustain all the borders all around the Mediterranean, and it just collapsed in on itself. They started debasing the money, and people started clipping off gold from coins and silver, and pretty soon the currency was worth nothing. They started using copper and brass and stuff like that, right? Hey, P2E. I think the biggest mistake that we make is we assume in America we live in such an advanced and historically peaceful time. We always assume that people's animal nature has been beaten out of them. Right? We assume that people will no longer devolve to their base animalistic behavior. And I think that that's the biggest fallacy of all, because history written over 6,000 years. Hey, mobile mechanic. History written over millennia, from the time of ancients in Greece and in Rome and stuff like that, has always been a story of rise and fall. All right. Unless you think that people are restrained in terms of their emotions and things, I direct your attention to things like mass school shootings. I direct your attention to what's going on in the streets in many cities in America. I direct your attention to just so many places where the stuff is hitting the fan in America right now. Okay? People, right, look at smash and grabs and things. what's going to turn the trend to smash and grabs? Well, let's follow it to a logical drugs too. Yeah, let's get high. Let's just enjoy life. Let's drink ourselves to death, right? Right. Let's just now we're moving on to much. It's all about what we can do to make ourselves feel good. Let's follow just the retail thing for a minute. So what happens? The opportunists, the thugs, they see like, well, Rite Aid's closing in San Francisco now, and Oakland, there's no CVS's left. Let's see, we've now lost 40% of our grocery stores because too much stuff is walking out the store. We don't have a Best Buy. What we have is two things happen. We have only those operators like Dollar General and them that can come in and sustain, because of cheap products and stuff, they can sustain all the theft and all the thuggery that goes on down there. But the real backbone stores that pay decent wages and offered people career paths disappear. Okay, they close up shop. And we know now that retailing is now in a contracting mode. It's being taken over more and more by the safety of having something shipped to your home. So what's the next move for the thugs then? You think the thugs want to be cut off from the gravy train when they can go into a Westfield Mall in Topanga, California, in LA, Bird's old stomping grounds, and they can rush in and take $300,000 worth of designer bags and stuff out of the store? Do you really think that one day they wake up and just say, you know what, no mas, enough is enough. We're just going to clean up our act. We're going to beg forgiveness from society, and we're going to turn over a new leaf. And well, I'm going to go get a job at McDonald's now. Yes, they begin turning towards home invasions. They get into their vehicles. They start coming to places like Santa Rosa, Walnut Creek, all around Gilroy, all the areas of the Bay Area where there's still money. And we've seen these now. The Fox News had a story today down in Alameda, which is the island in the San Francisco Bay, where you have thugs now on boats going around and breaking into people's boats that are docked at the marinas and stuff like that, or are moored offshore and stuff like that. They're boarding these boats, they're raiding them, and they're either sinking them or they're just leaving them in such piss poor shape that they're just useless to the owners anymore. This is a new thing, piracy. It's like Somalia again. Remember what happened, Captain Phillips off the coast of Somalia and that whole ordeal? I mean, every day, did you see that, Laurie? Every day we turn a new page in barbarism. Right? I have been subbed for long now, just over. Oh, okay, well, thank you, Dee. I appreciate that. "46 vehicles a day, and God knows how many boats. To the point you're not going to be able to keep a boat anymore in Berkeley or a place like that. Fools for paying a dime, but some people want it, and I never pass judgment on the. Well, maybe I do. 5,000 kids starve to death in the world every day. I mean, I guess I'd feel conflicted having a, $25,000 designer bag, sleeping on that at night. But I'm not other people. I mean, I got my own. I have my own crappy stupidity and my own blind spots in my own being. I don't need to worry about what other people are doing. But what happens after a while is the tentacles begin to spread. You start to do what? You start to follow the money. You go to where the money is. So I would say now, I live in the very center of I live in a rough area of a pretty wealthy county, okay? And I can tell here that people are starting to get a little nervous about what's going on around here. But there's some people that are also oblivious to it because they live in a comfortable world, where they're making, $20,000 a month, and their world is a different world than our world. They're kind of blinded to what's going on below where they can see, right? They don't know what's going on down here, right? We know, you and I, we see the whole shooting match down there. We know, and I'm not singling anybody out here, but my friend Noreen, she's had to sustain, hi Shimei, she's had to sustain rent increase after rent increase after rent increase, as many of you have, right? The easiest thing, the middle class is an economic phenomena anyway. There's no, if you look at the history of the world, there's no such thing as a middle class. It doesn't exist. Right? It's only because we had a post-World War II bulge of prosperity that we were able to create, for 60, 70, 80 years in middle class. But life doesn't work like that. Not everybody in the world gets to buy a house. Not everybody gets to buy a BMW or a F-350 diesel just because they can now make a monthly payment. Okay? Life never worked that way before. So I can tell you another thing that you're going to be hearing coming up. You're going to hear that the pressure on credit and credit defaults is starting to rise dramatically. We already know repossessions in the auto world are climbing at an insane pace. Okay, and you're going to see that as credit tightens, you're going to now, rent control has its own set of problems. Okay. Anytime you try to control the price of something, you're going to get less of it in the long run. You're just going to create an explosion of price going up. It sounds good in theory, but it works against us. Even Nixon was dumb enough to go with wage and price controls, and it turned into a disaster. All right. But you know what? The thing that you're correct about is people will demand that the government do something. Right? And the government will say, well, if we do that, if you want us to do X, we're going to have to do Y. We're going to have to give up something over there. And we're not in a give up society. Yeah, people aren't willing to do it that. That's right. Yeah, people get desperate. They do desperate things. Right? Plus, we have this veneer of entitlement among the young. We have this base amount of young people that think because I'm born and because I live, therefore I'm justified in terms of having my existence paid for in one way, shape, or form by this government. Somebody's going to pay. And they're going to give me a comfortable existence. So we start to float this idea of a guaranteed income, right? This has been coming out of Sacramento a little bit, like we need to guarantee everybody a basic income. Well, what do you think the taxpayers, what do you think the rich people are going to do, right? They're going to get out of town like their drawers are on fire, right? They're not going to sustain such foolery, and therefore you just immediately plunge yourself into poverty on a massive scale. You drove out the people that create the jobs and things like that. I heard these people talk on the strike line. We have to be rewarded because we're the ones that build these cars. If it wasn't for us, we wouldn't, this wouldn't be here. To which I say, you build the present, but management is there to build the future. All right. So don't stupidly undervalue the role of management and thereby price yourself right out of existence in union jobs and stuff. We went through terrible times in the 70s and 80s with rationalization of car companies. Most people alive today don't even realize it, okay? how bad it got between 75 and say 1990. It was terrible. All right. Quality was crappy and everything. It was a very, very, very terrible time. And the unions had to give up a lot just to keep these companies solvent. And now I fear they're pushing for the most at a time when affordability is the least, when interest rates are going up, and I would hate to see my friends that are in the auto industry lose jobs because of pushing at the wrong time. All right. Just my thoughts. New products are non-replicable, they're designed to be replaceable. Well, everything's always going to be a drive for that. People value new. Let's be real. People buy a lot of stuff not to feed their own need, but they want to be seen by others as having the ability to buy something. Right? We have a economy that has a lot of show off to it. I see a lot of people like this woman in the truck over here. She's driving a big, right, F-250 or whatever. Right, it's a very expensive vehicle. Maybe she can afford it. That's cool. But a lot of people understood in the car industry that people buy trucks now to impress their friends and things. Right? So you wonder why people buy designer handbags and things like that. It's not for them, it's for so other people can see what they're able to buy and afford. We already knew, Amanda, I already said that at the beginning of the show, right? But I've not heard one person come up with any counter argument to tell me what would change the direction of the way things are going. See, that's truly American in nature to assume that, what was will always be, right? Certain people can see ahead and say, it looks a little rocky down there. And I look at, what we're actually doing in this nation, and I'm a little worried, right? We have a young, with virtually no exposure to any spirituality at all, except New Age and centering things that teach them to center on their own needs, and understanding themselves is the key to what makes a good world. Hey, Bread and Butter. Well, I originated the State of the Wheel address, so 2000 3 Ranger, 23 miles to go. I don't know. I can't afford one. Right? So I welcome anybody. If you have an idea how things change in this world, let me know. In the meantime, let selfishness rule. I'm bad about buying design. I love your honesty. Hey, if you can swing it and afford it, it makes a lot of sense. It's great. Yes, the government and the system has become the religion, exactly. It's faith in, it's unlimited faith in government, which contrasted, thank you, Kel, thank you, sweetie, contrasted to 1932, where nobody had any concept that government was responsible for anything. Nobody looked to government. Nobody would have ever considered, right? Thank you, Kels. So this is a requested talk tonight. Only a true revolution will change America at this point. The problem is, Leah, is that revolutions can go real bad. And I draw your attention to something called the French Revolution that took place in 1789. Okay, what originally started out as demand for, food, and, the peasantry needs more and more and more, turned into a bloodbath. It turned into an absolute excuse in the reign of terror to go crazy and slaughter people by the tens of thousands in France, led by Robespierre and all the ridiculous of the National Assembly and all the against King Louis XIV and his wife. People should thank God that Napoleon Bonaparte came along and finally put once and for all an end to the craziness, because the French literally lost their minds, and they're a good object lesson. We're not talking about 600 AD or something with the Vikings coming ashore with their clubs and running people through and smashing heads in. We're talking about civilized people. Fast forward a couple hundred years to the 1930s in Nazi Germany. You don't think people can go nuts? You don't think a whole society can lose its mind? In modern times, Pol Pot regime, right? Mao's marches and purges and Stalin's. People just think we're somehow immune because we're so modern. And then when some thug shows up on their door one day and the cops don't answer the phone and their door suddenly kicked in, they'll have no answer for it. Right? Because they will have been living in a dream world. And a dream world that suddenly crumples in on them. Yeah, I mean, I can cite example after Pol Pot regime, the killing field. People just absolutely lose their minds. Right. Well, you really think, Mindhunter, that if I'm a cop and if things are so unhinged that stuff can't even keep under control, you think I'm sticking around on that job? I'll take my badge and uniform and throw that away as fast as I can. And I'll just go out there with my piece and I'll have a piece of the pie. That's right. 1 out of every 3 kids is medicated in this country, and 20% of adults are on daily medication. I am drinking coffee and I'm going to be cooking chili tonight, hack job chili. How did we suddenly get to a point where we needed to be so medicated? How did we get to the point in 1927 we had less than 2,000 psychologists and psychotherapists in America, and now we have almost 200,000? Are we better off for it? I defy one person to tell me in the aggregate that America's better off for it. North, the animated fire, yeah. I love you, man. Hey, Angus. Right. Right. Nobody's saying there's no value in it, but we're missing the whole message of why do we need it. And there's one thing that's changed dramatically in this nation since the 1960s. There's only one thing that can explain what has happened to this, and what is happening to so much of the Western societies and Western culture. I'm so know what is going on. I just want to be in my home and my own again. Yeah, well, that's cool. We're not talking about something that's going to happen tomorrow. We're just taking a very long-term view. I might be dead and cold in the ground. I'm just saying. But the trend is in place. Right? And the amount of boring. What do you cook in chili? I thought chili with goldfish. Oh, the goldfish are good in chili. I think that'd be good. We've totally lost the concept of what real love and charity is in this nation. It's the willing surrender of our will to another. Right? It's why we fight. We've lost the common ground of compromise. Everybody wants it his or her way. Right? We can't yield one bit, whether we're in the Congress of the United States or on the streets. It's rank paganism. That's exactly what it is. People laugh when I say it's the new first commandment, love thyself above all. Well, that's exactly what it is. You know, I could have a kid, or I could have a new F-350 pickup truck. Right? I could have a kid, or I could have a boat. Right? Thank you, Shemaine. That was a classic Harley right there. Well, obviously people like to hear what I'm talking about. They show up when I do these conversations. But not everybody agrees, and I don't expect everybody to agree. I would be surprised. But I think our perception depends on the life we live at the current time. I think a lot of that depends on where we sit within the strata of American society right now. My point of view is very skewed because I'm on the underbelly side of what goes on in the world. I see it in my neighborhood, right? Other people live in gated communities where they come and they go, and their perception of the world is an office building, shopping online, nice Whole Foods market, or really nice shopping experience, which is great. Right? But that's not the real world, right? And well, thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that. My puppy's expensive, but it's worth it, right? I mean, that's the bottom line. Yeah, we demand people stay civil here. I can take correction as much as anybody. I take it on the daily around here. I know oftentimes I'm a laughing stock. That's people who think they're better than, well, I don't know. I try not to pass judgment. I just look at general trends. What are your thoughts on the money we're sending to Ukraine? I think we believe in some way that it is in our self-interest to contain Russia and to make their slog in Ukraine as difficult as possible, so maybe once bitten, twice shy, they won't try something else again. But it's a gamble that bleeds us in the meantime, right? Meanwhile, you have the Chinese Navy pushing out the bounds into the South China Sea and, exerting more and more pressure and influence over there, right? There's nothing like when people start to lose money or lose jobs to really incite people to be pissed off. There's nothing people care about more than their wallets. All right. I'm glad you had a good day, honey. Congrats. Once you start messing with people's money, then it's like Katie bar the door. So I look and I look and I look and I say, what's going to change the trend? What's going to turn education around? What's going to turn ethics around in this nation? I see no force for that, right? I see misplaced priorities in education. And I see the result of it hitting the street with people with no idea, no ability now to even tell right from wrong anymore. They can go into a Walmart or a Target store and walk out with a whole rack of expensive dresses and clothing and stuff and feel justified in doing it. Because in their mind, it's F the man, right? I'm getting back at the man. Grab all the Rolexes and things, and well, the man deserves it, right? It's about time somebody fought back against the man. How you doing, Limo? Education is hopeless, yeah. Two factors here. One is man's a total failure of education, exactly. Our kids aren't taught values, and we allow, like I said, we live in the most Marxist nation in the history of the world. We turn everything over to government. From daycare to higher education, we turn our kids over to the state on the daily, and we get what we get. I think it is sure thing, but there's no one to teach those values anymore. We would rather, I'm seeing this short YouTube short about this guy that stood in front of his city council in Florida talking about a book that was in the library, right? And he started reading it at the city council meeting. I want you guys to be aware of what's in this school. He starts reading, it talks about, a guy beginning to finger a girl, on a date and stuff. And the more he talked, they're like, stop, kill his microphone. And he's like, who's going to stop the kids from hearing this crap in 7th grade, right? And he ends up getting arrested. Right, just totally oblivious that this is what we spend our educational dollars on. Right, not properly making sure kids understand division or multiplication or how to write a sentence, or it's on this. And I'm not trashing all schools, because they're, like I said, I got public schools here that are fantastic, and I got public schools here that are SHIT. I mean, I can tell you what, if I went back in time and had to go through the Baltimore City public school system, duck and cover. Duck and cover. He talked about the real reality of life. Did he? Hung up on all these other distractions. Yeah, he got arrested. Anybody else see that, Chef? He got arrested, but the district promotes it. It just shows you that the priorities are so, the only word I can use is just, it's demonic. Yeah, I'm saying, Slugbug, I think you do a pretty good job. I have nothing but admiration for you. For slugging it out in the school system and maintaining the standards. That's great. But I thought to myself, if this city council can't even stand to have, a page read out of this book, what, are our kids any less important? Are we supposed to think that children are somehow evolved now, and we put the focus on what is gender, and what is a woman now, and what is a man? Are you kidding me? What's a male and what's a female? What's a woman and are you kidding me? What you're basically doing is undercutting the totality of science. What you believe in is evolution. You're totally undercutting it. With nothing more than an exercise in self-will. Right? Well, you know what? You sow the wind, you reap the whirlwind. Now you have, less desire than in the history of polling and studying of young women desiring to be married anymore and have families and all that. I mean, what does that speak about the future? I don't know what the clip is, Buttercup baby. It's just man addresses council about book in library, something like that. I didn't bookmark it. It's out there. The guy ends up getting arrested and hauled out of the. He's like, you don't want to hear this? How about the kids in school? Who cares about them? Right? I mean, defend that. Of what possible value is that in the educational scheme of things? And if you're not subscribed, please take a second to subscribe and hit the bell for all notifications. Our world stands to get a lot more interesting in the months ahead. Things were, well, the internet has been nothing but it's been nothing but a moral disaster. It's been nothing but a disaster. It's been nothing but disaster. The whole, and I have lots of friends that are trans, but the whole social media is what created so much of it today. The question you always have to ask is, if social media wasn't a thing today, what would we not see that we see today? And the answers are pretty obvious as we look around. It's very telling. Well, these days, you talk about people used to visit neighbors and stuff. Neighbors have no utility to these people anymore. There's no need to cultivate a friendship with your neighbor, right? They're of no value to you anymore. They're just somebody that impedes on your privacy with loud music or squealing wheels, or the kid that's playing the drums in the garage, or the motorhead that's always leaking oil all over, right? They have no value anymore because we're taught to look elsewhere for what really we need in life. And it's not from our neighbors. I have no idea, PC. I don't play the lottery, so. I live next door to a woke professor. Yeah, good neighbors can be priceless, but the utility of neighbors is, how many people really know our neighbors these days, right? Neither responsible, should we punish the other end to step out of line? Well, you're very different today, Amanda. That's a rarity. The average person in America doesn't even know their neighbors' names. They're just a wave on the way out the door in the morning and a wave in. I have no idea what Trump will do. I mean, that's down the line, right? Sometimes I think we look too far ahead when it may never even happen, right? So I don't want neighbors. I am yes. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some people do better in a secluded area. Some people do better alone, but it's a lot harder when you live. It used to be in like Santa Rosa when they built new housing communities. They gave you 5,000 square foot lot and like a 2,000 square foot home. Right now they give you a 3,000 square foot lot. And your neighbor's wall is within touching distance, right, to you. The internet's the greatest thing on earth. It depends what you use it for, Michelle. It depends. It's your mileage may vary, as I always like to say. Your mileage varies. I've seen what it wrought in certain communities. I've seen it lead to a rise in gender and sexuality as being the point of the spear in dealing with other people in society. "40 acres and a mule." Man, we need a new land rush. Gang, there you go. I got you, D. Right? You can only take so much thug life. I mean, our street is now filling up with more and more people living in their cars and stuff, and I don't say anything. It's not my place to say anything. Until such time as they just start throwing their garbage out the window and trashing the place. The bigger threat to Biden is the economy. People can sustain border stuff when they're not affected. Remember how New York used to thumb its nose in California and, oh, you know, it doesn't matter, right? Take care of those poor people, need to have jobs and stuff like that until it lands on New York's steps. Oh, brother, now you got the mayor and you got the governor and, oh, wow. Do not give us your tired, poor, huddled masses. You know, it depends whose ox is being gored, right? Right? That's the problem with that situation. Yeah, that's a rocket. Yeah. How you like that? Cool. You know, it's all good in theory till it lands on your porch step. Then all of a sudden it's very problematic in life. Then all of a sudden everybody gets up in arms. Where I'm buying a home through go. Yeah, upstate New York is beautiful. It's probably good value too. Thank you, Prancer. And then what do the states do? They turn around like New York State and they start badgering the federal government. You know, we need more, we need more, we need more resources, we need more money. You know, it's all good to be principled and real cool and stand up for, you know, equality and all that until it lands in your neighborhood. So what's going to bite Biden in the ass is probably the economy, higher interest rates, and right now the market's looking ahead. Not right now, and it's not liking what it's seeing out around Christmas time and moving into the new year. And that's going to leave 2024 available for people to get pissed off when they can't afford houses anymore, they can't afford to buy cars, and then what is the government going to do, right? Can't just, you know, they'll do what they always do, just start printing money, and then your eggs will go up to $6 a dozen, and your gasoline will go to 10, 12 bucks, right? As if somehow you can purchase prosperity. I know I got Limo in here, loan forgiveness. Well, remember this: one person's loan, one person's burden is another person's asset. Okay. In other words, every time you have loan forgiveness, somebody's got to take that loss on. Remember what I said, the privatization of profit and the socialization of loss. We just keep spreading loss all over people. Oh, I remember that happened, Lee. No, I remember Jimmy Carter telling us to put a sweater on. All right. So, right? One person's asset is another person's liability. So every time we, we hit landlords and say, well, during the course of the pandemic for 2 years, even though you're collecting, a lot of you are collecting unemployment and stimulus and all that, you don't have to pay your landlord. All right, so of course the landlord's going to bite back. Yeah, I couldn't believe potatoes $1.50 a pound. Hey, how you doing, P. Carver? Yeah, well, I know people that are sitting around hoping that they don't have to pay off the debt that they freely contracted, and they're perfectly happy to throw it on the pile of society without a care in the world, right? Without a care in the world, just throw it. Somebody else will pay it. Right, that's somebody else's problem. That ain't my problem. Yeah, it's a good shirt. You guys will see a little later today. I got to put a sweatshirt on though, because it is getting chilly. It's getting windy. That's a lot of the problem today. We're just too willing to shovel off our commitments to other people and expect them to take them on. Yeah, a lot of people got rent forbearance during the pandemic, and I wonder how many of them took the opportunity to save that money, right, as opposed to going out and spending it. Yeah, I'll just show you over here real quick. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people couldn't wait to get that hot money in the hand and just spend it like there was no tomorrow. If you get something for free, you don't tend to value it in life. If you earn it, you value it. That's the whole problem with a lot of subsidized housing, is the people that live in it have no vested interest in maintaining it. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I have like 2 more. Those same people quit paying. Well, you're going to have that in the future. Just on September, what do we have, PC? Down in, thank you, down in Rohnert Park at the Spreckles Center, we had a huge rent rally down there. Thank you, Angus. We had a huge rent rally. And of course, out of that rally came a demand that, rents be frozen and rents be rolled back to pre-pandemic levels and all that. So, right. And of course, the politicians were there in force. Right. Oh, that sounds great, right? So have no fear. You're going to have mass just... I can almost predict that with 100% certainty. You're just going to have renters en masse. Just, it's going to spread like on the internet like wildfire. It's no longer a localized phenomenon. Right? The internet carries the word so fast now that you can just have a simultaneous rent strike in a nation. Oh, thank you, Dee. Thank you. People have seen the power of what came down on January 6th at the White House, what came down in December in the in Michigan when they went in looking for the governor there. God knows what would have happened to her if they had found her in there. Meg Whitmer, is that her name? I shudder to think what might have happened, because mobs they have a mind of their own. rent money from the college students every week. Well, colleges are in big trouble right now unless you're like the super elite colleges. People are feeling less and less inclined that college is a worthwhile investment now. You know, when they see plumbers apprentices making $90,000 a year right at the door, suddenly that right, that job as a Starbucks barista just doesn't look so good. You have to really do something in the world. I mean, a degree in French literature is great, but at the end of the day, you have to bring power, and you have to bring value to the equation in the world today. I mean, you know, stuff like that, women's studies, things like that. It's just a luxury. Hey, champ, how you doing? It's just frivolous, right? Yeah, it shouldn't be any rain here. We had a half an inch the other night. We're going to go about 10 more minutes, then we're going to move on. Oh, thank you, Callie. It's a beautiful life. It's a beautiful time. It's a nice place to be up here. That's for sure. But you can just see my interactions with homeless people are increasing on the daily all the time. Trades are in high demand right now. Yeah. Ever flipped someone off before? Hey, this guy's really cool. Finding Ian. How you doing, Ian? I was checking out some of your stuff. This guy's the real deal over in Africa there. You can see him rolling around the villages and stuff. It's really cool. I really like checking it out. Yeah, I'm very excited, Bob D, for starting with, I'm going to do this big fundraiser in Vegas. I'm going to be turning off the super chat and the super stickers for the month of October, asking you guys, please help out. I don't want anything for the month. Will I be leading the way? Yes, I will. So I'm just asking people, kind of giving a heads up. Yeah, so please subscribe to Ian. It's really cool. Imagine sitting in a horse and buggy at your location back in the 20s. Yeah, imagine that. Right. Hello, Cheryl. Does anybody know strange lights in bed, like a small dot of light near the winter storm? You've been missed. Today's pundency by winter storm. We'd probably be better off. Well, we were certainly better grounded in ethical behavior back then, right? I worked 4 10-hour days a week and have 3 days off. Well, that's great. That's good. Oh, that's okay, Cheryl. Take your time, honey. Being here is not mandatory. It's just appreciated when you do make it in. So I always tell my moderators that. So. I think tomorrow night we're gonna go out to the. We're gonna go back out to Sebastopol. We're gonna end up at the Hop Monk tomorrow night, and then probably do an in and out run tomorrow night. Thank you for putting Ian's channel down there, Ronnie. I appreciate that, and whoever else did, Cheryl and Shemay, if you put, thank you. Well, thank you, Dee. It's a different kind of chat. We don't do drama over here. We have a lot of differences of opinions. I can guarantee you there's some decent percentage of people out there that think I'm full of shit tonight and just uh, off my rocker. And there's other people that are going to think I'm spot on. And you know what? All those people are welcome, right? We engage in pretty intelligent conversation. Hey, Jersey, checking in out. Been a great visit. Oh, good. I'm glad you had a good time. All right. So, people's mileage will vary, but everybody's welcome. Right. I've, the important thing that I've said is that predicted that interest rates are rising, and they're likely to continue to rise. Our country stands out unique. I mean, you look at Germany's interest rates, you look at Japan's interest rates, you look at China's interest rates. We literally stand out like a sore thumb. There's something going on. Okay? Inflation is not just an American phenomenon. All right, recognize in the world where we stand right now. Then you wrote, here, what do you think of me? Well, I think that you're spot on. I have a flow of history behind me. I mean, other people have this imperious view because we're America. Nothing can ever happen to us. We're insulated from revolution. We're insulated from thuggery. We're too evolved. We're too we're too much into equality and love one another and peace, man, and it could never happen. And I think people are in for the rudest awakening that they've ever. This a cold slap upside the head, as my neighbor used to say. I think you can fool yourself. You can stick your head in the sand and pretend all is well, or you can open your eyes and just be aware. Right. Be aware of alternative ideas. It's a long trip to China. Honey, I've been trips to China so many times, lived there 5 years. I flew in and out of China than more than their sheets of toilet paper on a roll. Earth weather changes have a big part of world problem. There's some measure of it. Yeah, that's absolutely. It's frayed at the edges. We have a society that's almost totally given over to pleasure and paganism. We're certainly not We've shown no propensity to sacrifice for future generations. That's for sure. Right? It's been like a giant vacuum just sucking up everything here and now. And that's one of the weaknesses of a representative government is that your politicians are always going to give you what you want. Not what's good for the long run, but what's good for the short run. Oh. I find all that on there. My grandparents were bad, me, myself, and I. Take. Go look at my about page, Sophia. You'll find all you need on there. It's the novel, positive thoughts. That's cool. A pentagon next to a hexagon. Thank you. I think people that press for positive thoughts is a good thing for the world, but it's a negative thing in recognition of the problems that we have. I feel it does no good. Oh, thank you, D. It just becomes a short-term salve that reading some of Alexander Allen, that is a genius about it sounded if otherwise. Scoundrel otherwise. There's the undoing of the 1787. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, thank you, RJ. We need to be open to other opinions. We have a society that stresses as they run for office how good they are for American stuff. Because it's in their interest to have you believe that everything will take care of itself somehow magically down the road. We now see a point that it's like herding cats in Congress, where you have a Speaker of the House that's basically been told by his constituency in Congress that you either hold the line or we're going to vote you out. And that's it. So he's powerless, right? It's a position where he can't do anything. As much as he wants to try to compromise because he fears the backlash from constituency and stuff, he's got bigger fish to fry. Thank you, D. So we're literally seeing politicians that are locked into between a rock and a hard place. They've run out of room. Best they can do is the gassy grandma start calling and complaining because the threat is to cut off or reduce their Social Security and my Medicare. Well, and boy, you'll see them fall into line like their drawers are on fire and further kick the can down the road. Right. I mean, that's called realism. Right? When you finally reach a point where your deficit's $250 billion a month, that's almost what, right? That's almost what that's more than all the big three automakers take in a year in revenue in 1 month. So be prepared, exercise the constitutional right while you have it now to at least be able to defend yourself and to set a good example in the world. Shake your booty, oh, shake, shake, shake. Boy, it gets so dark early. It gets dark so early now. It's not even 7 o'clock, and look at this. This is lunacy. So slug bug, in that type of situation, we have two choices. There's a fork in the road. We can either cut spending dramatically, which has a tremendously negative impact on the economy. That's called the bite the bullet fork in the road, right? Or we have the other fork in the road that says what we can't borrow from people, we will just have the Treasury print and the Federal Reserve monetize, in which case we've had a taste of that before, right? Right. Which one is the most likely? It's the one that's print, baby, print, because the alternative gets you voted out of office. Right. Yeah, Montreal is a winner, man. The Canadiens lit it up tonight. They lit up the goal. Thank you, Kelly. That's the only two options that are available. That's it. There is no nothing else. You think that the federal government can raise taxes? Print, baby, print. That's it. Yeah. Welcome to Venezuela. What do you got in Argentina now? 40% of the people are in poverty now. So just be realistic. Be hopeful. Be prayerful, but be realistic about things so you don't get slapped upside the head. All right? That's, I think, the key thing. Let's go get some food now. Let's go make something here. Let's trip around and see what's going on downtown real quick. So thank you for those who came in. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. There will be much more demand for these type of talks in the future, but we will still have good times predominantly here on the channel because, well, I'm an a-hole and I like to laugh and have fun. All right, what are we doing, Pop? Are we going to come across the street? Which way are we going? Are you going to walk across? Okay, thank you. Hey, Shannon. Well, because I'm a butthole and I like to have a good time. Right? I like to drink some beers. I like to laugh. I like to fight with Cheryl S. And remember, at the end of the day, everything is Cheryl S.'s fault. Yeah, heavy talk tonight, but it was a requested talk. And it was weeks and weeks in coming. Yeah, please feel free to share it out on your community post. I think people will like to hear the replay. I love Cheryl S. Even when she busts my nuts. Right? When are we decorating? I'm going to give you a little hint tomorrow about what the schedule is going to be coming up as I'm seeing it for October now. So you'll have some idea. We're going to be on the road 2 times in October. One time we're going to be on the road to LA. We're going to come back because I have an important meeting I need to go to up here. And then we're going to be heading on to Las Vegas. And we're going to be enjoying the decorations down there. And we're going to come back here and get all decorated up. We'll have plenty of time to hit the pumpkin patch, do our decorating, and get all set for Halloween. Okay, so we're going to have new adventures, new food reviews, some new content. I'm going to try to meet up with Kev TV, invite him for a nice Korean barbecue. Maybe we can go down to the Cecil, see what's going on down there. Get caught up with him and see what's new. I mean, I'm a new person now, right? So there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. So it's going to be fun, and just once again, I'm going to be turning off the super chat and the super sticker for the month of October because I want to dedicate all my efforts to fundraising and helping out as we go into the winter season here and take a step towards doing something significant for the for those who unwilling, unable, or to take care of themselves. One of my goals is to help develop a long-term strategy and a plan, vision for the future, so they don't ever have to be in a bind again. you have to understand there's a lot of people that like the former president very much, and there's people that are opposed, right? And I need to be respectful of everybody's opinions here. Hey James, how you doing? I mean, that's my responsibility here, to keep it nice for everybody, no matter what your opinions are. I express mine, but I keep mine away from personal stuff, and I keep my stuff addressed to generalities of chat. Good to see you, James. I hope you've been enjoying your time. I believe that you've been on holiday for a while, which is well deserved. You certainly deserve some downtime, and I hope you got it. It's of no value to judge anybody at the end of the day, because it doesn't matter to them. It matters more to you than it matters to them. Therefore, it really doesn't carry much weight in the scheme of things. Yeah, thank you, Slugbug. I wait till the number of people requesting it gets to a certain point, and then I take it up. I take the risk. Otherwise, you know, I'm a butthole, and I just like to have fun and all that. So, and it's always good to see you, Slugbug. I hope Elaine's doing well. Hello, Bird. What happened? Hey, JK. What happened? Oh, thank you, Jersey. I didn't enjoy it, apparently. Oh, no. What the hell? How's that possible? How was your day, Bird?
It was pretty good.
Good.
Yeah. How was yours?
Yeah, I had a good day today.
I know.
Big problem at the church, but we'll get it resolved.
Oh, you got that kid's spaceship there.
Yeah. You like it?
I really love that one.
Isn't this cool? It's so freaking 5962 retro.
It's awesome. Love
Thank you.
it. You're going to have people bugging you wearing that down the street.
Yeah. Well, I figure you have your Oakland A's Hawaiian shirt. I got this. How about this? Look at this. Right. Hey, Matt and Eric, how you doing, handsome boys? And Sissy, I hope Sissy's doing well too. Cheers to all of you. All right, do we like it or not? Colorful. Monkey boy, how you doing? I'll be back down in fairly soon. We're gonna have to get some beer on Friday night. We're gonna need some beer. We're gonna need some beer. All right, but we had little rain. I got to put this on because I'm chilly. We had a little bit of rain the other night. It did nothing. Right? The kitchen stadium stood up beautifully. So that's right. That's the hallmark of this channel. Jersey Twister, I have some pork ribs left here. I'm going to cut the meat off of them and I'm going to use them in a chili tonight. That's the plan tonight. I don't want to waste them. I have about four sections of ribs left. Make sure we stay charged here. Yeah, I think it'll be pretty good. Just a hack job chili. I don't have any beef. You notice I've had very little beef lately. Now, what did James say? What the hell? What happened to James? This bothers me tonight. Well, I can only scroll up so far, but I'm sorry about your job, thing. Maybe if you choose to, you can get on with another airline or something. Being that you have all the experience. Fucking dog will be gone all night. Cheers, everybody. That dog will be barking till 2 in the morning. I think we have a full moon tonight. Alright, well, I'm sorry. I mean, if I can only say if a chat offends you, the best thing is just not to watch it. I try to stay out of things and just mind my own beeswax. That to blow away. I've got that set. 3-week cruise. I couldn't even imagine a three-week cruise. Yeah, let's just be easy, please. You know, these birds taking a lot of initial abuse out of this chat here for no reason that I could see. My best thought, if something irritates you, do what I do. Just don't watch it. Let's roll positive. We're gonna get 1 onion. We're gonna get some garlic. We gotta get our cutting board here. Get you guys set up in a minute. Man, that dog just goes and goes and goes and goes. Take care, Dee. Thanks for coming in. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Here be the ribs. All right, we got some nice rib meat we can cut off of there and do it up. That's exactly what we're gonna do. We're going to get our knife, we're going to sharpen it up, and we're going to cut off that rib meat. Let's sharpen her up, baby. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I wish I had one of those crazy looking stick, that metal stick they use to sharpen knives on. Let's see if we can get this meat off of here without cutting my fingers off. I feel like Fred Flintstone with the brontosaurus. Brontosaurus. Always some dog barking in the hood. The first thing I'm going to do is put this where it is there, and then I got all that meat. Oh, there's been an undercurrent of bashing a bird here. Smoking and drinking and all that. I've just asked people to just, if you can't say something nice, just don't say anything at all. Oh, pardon me. Trying to make sure I get all the meats. I got to make sure that I don't leave this so that one of the cats might eat it. And I don't think that they should have a bone. Make sure it tastes right. I think that'll be fine. Making sure I have as much as I can get, because there's not a lot of meat here. I'm cutting it like 10 ways to Sunday. I guess it had more meat on it than I thought it was going to have. At least off the first one. It's not loaded, but it's okay. I'm trying to get it right down at the bone. Sometimes it's better to pick it up with your fingers. I think this is all meat here. Yeah, this is all meat, baby. This is all meat. And it's all been cooked, so I don't think it can be bad. It tastes absolutely wonderful. Ooh. there's going to be a pretty good pile of it. Okay, I think that's about it. I'm gonna have to make sure that the cats don't get this. Rice wine vinegar. We've got cumin. We got chili powder. We got salt. We got garlic. We got onion. I want to grab some cayenne pepper here. All right. I don't really like it with paprika. Like with that. Good night, Amethyst. Thank you. Luscious cayenne pepper. So let's get our garlic here. This is going to be a hack job chili, and then I'll get the sauce, and I get a can of diced tomatoes. Cut this up a little more, make sure this is chopped up into bite-sized pieces here. That's all. That's a nice amount of rib meat I had left over. Let's dispatch the onion. Get off this funky out of there. What the funk? Get the funk out of my face. We're going to chop this onion up good. Turn it sideways. Just like that. That's what we do. Let's put some fire in the hole, guys. We are ready to roll here. All right. Hope we have enough gas tonight. I hope. Let's see if we can widen the angle. Hey, Vince, how you doing, babe? I think that's probably a little better, wider angle. Let's hope we got enough gas tonight. I think we're running low. I'm on fire tonight, baby. I'm on fire tonight. So we got our meat left over from when we had the barbecue ribs, right? And we got onion, garlic in there. How you doing, June? Grab 1 can of diced tomatoes and 1 can of sauce. Let's see. Pork fried rice every day. Yeah, that's what we do. Stir that. That's going to heat up that, going to bring even more flavor to that. Let me get my beer here. We're going to let that go. June is a doll baby. Hey, GE. No, that dog's been there for. That dog's a part of the woodwork now. Put in a little bit of rice wine vinegar. You can also use a little bit of brown sugar if you want. Rice wine vinegar really takes it up a notch here. We're going to take in the chili powder. I don't measure. In my measuring world, that's called a glob of chili powder. Now we're going to add a glob of cumin. Let me turn this down. We're going to add a blob of cumin. We're going to throw in some salt. I like to put my spices in early. Hey, Naomi. A bit of salt. We'll put that all together. Oh, that's going to be a rockin'. Then go our diced tomatoes. I like to put the whole can in with the juice. This has no salt added. Oops, I got the wrong thing here. I meant to get the... we'll put half of that can in. I meant to open the small one. I meant to get the diced tomatoes. This is what I meant to grab. No salt added, diced tomatoes. I mean, sorry about the dog, it ain't my dog. Not much I can do about it. Alright, in go the diced tomatoes. We should be pretty much ready to go. With that, there is our hot job chili. Let me get my camera. You guys been stirring that? Ooh, that's going to be delicious. Now we're going to pour in some beer. Just to thin it out a little bit. And we're going to give it a shake of cayenne pepper here. We do like a little bit of heat. Here we go. A little shake of cayenne. I don't like to overload it, but I do like cayenne. I don't fiddle around with a lot of other peppers and stuff. Man, that chili is bang on right there. Right. Now we do let that come up and we meld that all together. Unless you're sensitive, yeah. I like it. It's actually my favorite pepper. Let's get that bubbling good. Take it from this direction. Thought my lens might be dirty. Always check your lens. What is for dinner in Rancho Kitchen Stadium tonight? How about a nice hack job chili here? made with leftover barbecue pork. Please like and subscribe. What is for dinner in Rancho Kitchen Stadium tonight? Well, guys, we got a real treat. We had some leftover barbecue pork ribs. We cut it up to make a hack job chili. Please like and subscribe. Always good stuff on the Rancho. That's what I like right there. That's what I like right there. And of course we've got a dog barking in the background. Ooh, that's smelling so good. I wish we had smell-o-vision. All right, let me put a few things away here. Finished the chicken pot pie today. Good taste-o-vision, that's right. Yum yum. We want to give that a couple minutes to all meld together. There she is. There she blows. We've got a couple more minutes to all come together, and then we're going to commence to get a purchase on it. Let that sit a minute. We're going to cut the heat. This is what makes a hack job chili. We don't cook it all day. We have the intensity of the tomatoes. Nothing gets cooked out of this baby. We're going to go get a bottle of water. Here we go. Ooh. Yeah, they're probably out at work tonight. All right, there's a good helping of the chili there. There we go. Gonna be deliscable. Oh, yeah, there's nothing I can do about the dog. I don't even hear it anymore, to be honest. You live in a hood long enough and, well, right, you get used to it. What's a butter horn? Thank you, P. Carver. Yeah, I don't use sour cream. Oh, thank you. Nah, sometimes they're not home and they'll leave the dog outside. All right, let's commence to get a purchase on it. Let's get a nice. Let's see if we can grab a piece of beef in here. Correction, pork. That pork is just bright, tasty. Not to complain about the dog. Yeah, well, no. In a hood, there's not a lot you can do. Yeah, I don't really even notice the dog anymore, to tell you the truth. It's like almost a fixture in that thing. Have a great night, Twister. Take care. Oh, thank you, Jersey. Yeah, that dog will be gone all night. Yeah, it's just background. I mean, I don't even hear it. I could have put some pepperonis in here too to really spike it up. Butter horns are similar to big cinnamon rolls, but I guess they're not cinnamon, right? What you do with the barking dog is you give it a whole spoonful of peanut butter. That baby will be sucking on that peanut butter for an hour. Delicious. Delicious. Right? Isn't that what they say? Get a big spoon of peanut butter. That dog will be licking that for. Right. That's what the crooks do. Yeah, good hack job chili is really easy to make, and it's very tasty. My day was pretty good today, honey. I had a little situation with the altar at church today. It's got to be straightened out. There's a bit of a trip hazard in it. Did you plan to live in the hood? I moved right into the hood, boy, Bod. A couple months before I moved into the hood, right next door, somebody had their hands zip tied behind their back and 2 slugs put into their head. My realtor had to disclose it. It's like, I guess the deal is up. I said, I'm from Baltimore, so I guess the deal's on then. I'm like, yeah. I said, you think that's going to keep me away? Yeah, they died. Yep. Yep. As Charles Dickens said, deader than a doornail, man. This city is about 160% of the national crime rate. This neighborhood is about 400%. Oh, by blessing this thing, I'm always back at them. I don't even notice the noise. It's just like to me, it's just like a song playing in the background. Like the dogs singing at Christmas time. Woof, woof, woof. Woof, woof, woof. Woof, 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 woof. Woof, 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 woof. Woof, 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 woof. I mean, everything depends. Everything depends on your perspective, right? Woof, 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 woof. Nice doggy. I try not to get too, good night, Olive. I try not to get too wrapped up in the hood. I'm part of the boys in the hood. Thank God for that. I was going to get my man card pulled. Time to try to talk him down a little more, yeah. Thank you, Darlene. Tiger, we got nothing tonight. I see you filled your belly down below there. Right, you were down on the poop deck. You already ate down there. Now you're up on the Lido deck wondering what's special. Right. Hey, Callie. Give up is not in the dog's nature. All right? There ain't no way. There ain't no give up. Ah, delicious. Tiger, what are we doing? Are we still limping? Not as bad, but we're still kind of... We're about halfway through the 21-day disabled list here. So, Kelly, what do you think? We had a good go for the Canadians tonight. Right. They were lighting it up. Dun, dun, doo, doo. We got a lot of cats around here. Right. The arena was rocking tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, as the storied Montreal Canadiens take the ice, please rise for our national anthem. That's it. Like, you got that down, Rosie. Ladies and gentlemen, in the history of organized ice hockey, you are witnessing tonight the most storied and fabled team in that glorious history. With 17 championships, no other team in the history of worldwide hockey has ever amassed more Stanley Cups than your Montreal Expos. Let's give it up. Let's give a big, rousing Montreal welcome to the Montreal Canadiens. What are you doing, Kat? Jumping all around over here. Man, I would have that arena on fire over there. I want everybody to stomp your feet. Oh, boom, boom. Let's fire up the boys on ice. Yep, stand for our national anthem. Oh, Canada, I love to hear you. Roll away, you mighty river. Right? Something like that. That's pretty close to their national anthem, but probably the words are a little bit different. But you know, the sentiment is the same. Who doesn't like Canadians? Close enough for government work, Kelly. All right, let's reward direction, not perfection, as we used to say in special education. What's a Canuck? Sounds like a spice you put on Chinese ribs or something. Alright. Okay, well, nigga, Canuck, huh? Give me that Canucks powder. Isn't Cheryl from Canada? Really? Is Cheryl Canadian? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, Canucks are the Canadians. Well, I'll tell you what. They make some righteous beer in Canada. I gotta be honest, my favorite is Labatt's Blue. What a beer. What a beer. Poutine is though, I went to Canada, I never had poutine. Have you watched Van City Van Life? I have before, Joni. Yep. My husband's Canadian. That's cool, Vicky. You snagged a Canadian. Called making biscuits in the cat community. See, after a while, you don't even notice the dog anymore. How do you think I sleep at night? I got small arms fire being discharged around the neighborhood. People screeching. So this year, Kelly said I have to stay on top of Canadian hockey. What a Canuck is? It's a Canadian of the Northwest, right? It's like a Canadian of the BC territory. Yeah, you just get used to it. You don't even hear it. It's just like the same noise in the background, right? Right. Isn't that, I mean, like, what's the mascot for the Canuck? Do they bring out the skyline of, like, Vancouver? Right? You got the mascots like a skyline. Right? What the hell's the mascot? Right? At least the Oriole, we got the Oriole bird, right? Pretty cool. Finn the whale. What? Yeah, let me get the PR department. Yeah, I just purchased the team. Could you give Finn the whale his discharge papers? Finn the whale, how about that? So serious. Okay, well, cool. I don't think Cheryl really cares that much about hockey anyway. Right? I guess I'd call it the Vancouver Mountaineers or something. Throw that dog a bone. What's up, Patty? How you doing, honey? We don't even notice the dog after a while. The kitties are frolicking around the premises. The kitties are all around the premises. Olivia Newton-John would have been 75 today. Wow. How about Cher? Is she turning 80 this year or what? Do you believe in life after love? Bing, 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 bing. I can tell the do, 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 do. Isn't that funny? I was a kid watching Cheryl and laughing. I got you. No, I was watching the Sonny and Cher show. I got you, babe. I got you, babe. 77. She's still firing on all cylinders. She certainly gives a good show. I never heard anybody complain. I mean, she was holding forth at Caesar's Palace in the Forum for a year. She's always got good legs, right? I'm gonna tell you that. Yeah, thank you, Kelly. That man, that chili just sent my internal temperature up. Because you believe in that. I've seen her 3 times. That's cool. I would pay to see Cher in concert. There's not many I would pay to see, but I'd pay to see her. You still have anyone, honey? Any plans for camping out this fall? Yeah, I want to go down. I don't know if it's going to be camp out. I want to go down to Point Reyes Station. And then I have a couple field trips planned. Jay's loss. Well, is Toronto officially added a playoff picture? I don't want to say I hope so because I know you're a Jays fan, but my God, I hate to play Toronto in the postseason. They have this ability to be World Series champions in one series. They're a very, very tough team to beat. Yeah, Taylor Swift is coming, and she has a movie. Yeah, Chastity. Remember that, Judy? I remember. It was, I don't know, it was a boy, right? Chucky or something, I don't know. What was the kid's name? Chucky or Cher had her share, man. No, they're too good. Are they in? You mean are they in and or out? They're in the playoffs. Please, God, don't let us play Toronto. Toronto be a buzzsaw. Cher should run on. Is she a Democrat? I don't know anything about her politics. Do you do FanDuel? No, I don't, Mark. Chastity's now Chaz, that's right. So, Kelly, are they in or are they out of the playoffs? Just say in if they're in or out if they're out. Don't scare me, honey. I'm already biting a napkin here. I hate to play Toronto. They scared of... Kelly's holding off. It's like, I'm gonna make you wait, Rosie. We're gonna bust your scrotum right into the playoffs. Right. She's torturing me here. All right, I understand, Kelly. Are the Toronto Blue Jays still in the playoff picture? Oh my God. This is frightening. They're in. Oh God. No! No! If any team's gonna be in the World Series, it's gonna be them, man. They are BRUTAL. No, the Giants are way out of it. Good night, Alan. Good night. Yeah, good discussion tonight. Thank you very much. Happiness is a thing called Joe. I don't know. Uh, some people, hey Cindy, some people wear their politics on the sleeve. Other people keep it to themselves. It's all good. Her husband was a staunch Republican. Orioles are at the top of the AL, but they'll usually put it for the team that just slid in, so it'll be the Orioles against the Blue Jays. We know how that's going to end. Maybe the Blue Jays will lose the next 4 games. Who knows? Right. And they're screaming in Toronto. Magic, what are you doing? Houston could catch them. I'm surprised Houston's not even in the playoffs. As good as they played, look at the struggle the Orioles had split in 2-2 with Houston. Cher says white supremacy is the Republican Party's dream as she criticizes Georgia voting laws. I don't know. I don't have to worry about baseball this year. Mets will win June. Watch the Orioles flame out, right? That happened to the Giants like 2 years ago. They won more games than anybody in the leagues, and they flamed out in the first series. Boom. Right. It's sometimes a curse to not be hungry going into the playoffs. It's brutal. You want to go in real hungry like a wild card and then just tear everybody up. Just tear everybody to pieces. All right, guys. Well, it's been 3 hours. I'm going to go ahead and close it out. A very interesting night tonight. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. We had a very scintillating discussion tonight. And I want to thank everybody for being here. Have a wonderful night. Everybody, Amanda, my moderators, thank you for everything you do. Thank you, Kelly, for the good convo. Ronnie, good to see you. The dog drives me crazy, and it's a short drive. Yeah, thanks, Kelly. Shemay, thank you. I don't even hear the dog, right? So, all right, guys. Thumbs up are appreciated. Thanks a lot.